you ever look at a brand new vehicle and think, okay, this might just change the game? Well, that was exactly my reaction when I first laid eyes on the 2026 Kia Tasman. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm diving into something that has been making waves all over the auto world. The Tasman isn't just another new model from Kia, it's their big, bold attempt to take on the toughest trucks in the industry, and honestly, after spending time with it, I get why people are excited. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be questioning whether the big names like Ford, Chevy, and Toyota need to start sweating. Now, before we jump into the details, let me tease you a bit. The Tasman isn't the Kia you think you know. It's not a cute crossover, it's not a soft SUV, and it's definitely not playing safe. This truck brings a whole new attitude, a new presence, and a new personality from Kia. And trust me, there are a couple of things about the powertrain and the pricing that genuinely shocked me, in a good way. So let's get into it. The moment I approached the Tasman, the first thing that hit me wasn't just the size, but the confidence. This thing has presence. You know how some trucks look big but somehow feel kind of bloated. The Tasman doesn't have that problem. It strikes that sweet balance between muscular and modern. The front end has this bold squared-off stance with a grille that looks like it's carved out of a single block of steel. The lighting setup is one of the coolest details here, vertical LED strips that flow into the bumper with this futuristic vibe that makes it look like it came right out of a concept sketch. And the hood lines, man, they're sharp, aggressive, like the truck is flexing even when it's parked. Walking around the side, the proportions feel right. Not exaggerated, not weak, just solid. Kia nailed the wheel-to-body ratio. Whether you're looking at the 18-inch off-road wheels or the larger 20-inch street-oriented setup, the Tasman sits with confidence. The squared wheel arches give it that rugged truck look, but the clean body lines remind you this is still a Kia. It's refined, it's intentional, and it's pretty damn good looking. The door handles sit flush, and the mirrors have these subtle aerodynamic touches that actually help with wind noise at highway speeds. Around the back, the LED tailgate bar stretches across the rear like something from a high-end EV truck. It gives it that premium vibe. And the tailgate, dampened, smooth, and surprisingly light. Kia didn't reinvent the wheel here, but they made everything feel well thought out. And honestly, that's kind of the theme with this entire truck. Kia didn't try to be dramatic, they tried to be smart. Now, stepping inside the Tasman is where everything changes. I'm not even kidding, most people forget they're inside a truck. And that's because the interior leans more luxury SUV than rugged pickup. The seating position, the materials, the layout, it's all surprisingly refined. Kia has been on a roll with interiors lately, and the Tasman feels like the culmination of everything they've learned. The first thing you notice is the massive curved screen stretching across the dashboard. Two displays fused together, one for the gauge cluster, one for infotainment. Crisp graphics, smooth transitions, and quick response. Nothing feels laggy. You know how some truck infotainment systems feel like a decade behind smartphones. Not here. It's polished, it's responsive, and it actually makes you want to use it. And the materials, soft touch everywhere. Leather that feels expensive without being pretentious. Even the stitching is clean. I've sat in trucks double the price that don't feel this nice. The seats are well bolstered and super comfortable, even for long drives. And Kia did this thing where they contour the seats not just to hold you, but to make you feel relaxed. It's subtle, but you notice it after about 10 minutes of driving. In the back, space is generous. Room for adults, room for kids, room for gear. You want practicality. The rear seats fold up and down smoothly, offering plenty of under-seat storage. There are vents, USB-C ports, and even optional heating back there. A heated back seat in a Kia truck. Think about that for a second. Kia isn't trying to compete with the basic trim trucks, they're aiming right for the heart of the mid to upper tier market. But alright, let's get to the part you're probably waiting for: how does it drive? Because yeah, a pretty truck is great, but if it drives like a soggy cereal bowl, what's the point? The Tasman comes with a couple of engine options depending on the market, but the one that's going to get the most attention is the 3.0-liter turbo diesel. Now, I know diesel isn't everyone's cup of tea, especially in the US, but let me tell you, this thing pulls. The torque comes in early, and once it hits, the truck moves with confidence. Whether you're merging, towing, or just cruising around town, it feels controlled and capable. If diesel isn't your vibe, Kia also offers a turbocharged gasoline engine that's smoother, quieter, and delivers plenty of punch for daily driving. The throttle response is solid, the gear changes are clean, and the suspension tuning is surprisingly well dialed. It doesn't bounce you around like traditional body-on-frame trucks. Instead, it absorbs bumps in this gentle, controlled way that almost makes you forget you're driving something this big. And speaking of big, let's talk feel. The steering is surprisingly light at low speeds, making parking way easier than you expect. But once you get up to highway speeds, it firms up nicely. Body roll is minimal for a truck, and the cabin is quiet. Like, impressively quiet. Road noise, barely there. Engine noise, subtle, controlled. Wind noise, minimal. It honestly feels more polished than some trucks that have been on the market for decades. Then we get into the technology and safety. Kia didn't hold back at all. You get adaptive cruise control that actually feels smooth, not jerky like some systems. Lane keeping assist that gently nudges you instead of wrestling your arms. Blind spot cameras pop up on the gauge screen whenever you signal. There's a surround view camera system with crystal clear resolution that makes tight maneuvering feel effortless. And yes, the Tasman comes with all the expected modern features: wireless charging, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, multiple USB ports, and plenty of connectivity. But what impressed me was how easy everything felt. Nothing is buried in menus, nothing feels complicated. It's intuitive, like Kia designed it for actual humans who want buttons that make sense. Now let's talk money. This is where things get interesting. While final pricing varies depending on market and specs, the projected starting price for the Tasman undercuts some of the big names in the segment. Rivals like the Ford Ranger, Toyota Tacoma, and Chevy Colorado suddenly have some real competition on their hands. And when you compare features, comfort, technology, and overall refinement, the Tasman often comes out ahead. Even the higher trims of the Tasman, loaded with luxury-level features, still come in significantly cheaper than some of the top-tier trims of its rivals. And that's where Kia's value proposition shines. They're giving you near-premium quality without premium pricing. But here's the real question. Is the Tasman just a great first attempt from Kia, or is it genuinely a truck worthy of going toe-to-toe with the most established names in the industry? After driving it, walking around it, poking every button and knob, and comparing everything it offers, I think it's the latter. This isn't a good for a first try truck. This is a damn, this is actually competitive truck. The Tasman feels confident. It feels mature. It feels like Kia didn't want to just participate in the truck market, they wanted to disrupt it. And they might have done exactly that. So here's my final verdict. If you're someone who wants a truck that balances everyday comfort with real capability, if you want something modern, stylish, packed with features, and priced competitively, and if you're tired of paying premium money for a badge instead of for actual quality, the 2026 Kia Tasman deserves to be on your shortlist. Not as a wildcard option, but as a serious contender. And trust me, before you buy your next Ranger, Tacoma, or Colorado, you owe it to yourself to take this thing for a test drive. Because that's when it clicks. You realize this truck isn't trying to imitate anything. It's carving its own identity. Alright guys, that's my full breakdown of the 2026 Kia Tasman. If you enjoyed this review, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another deep dive car review. Let me know in the comments, would you give the Tasman a shot, or are you sticking with the old favorites? I'll catch you in the next one.